Oh my God, Anita.
Hello, welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I hope you're doing well. Haven't been here in the last few days, just been tired. Attempted to do a video yesterday. It was technically Friday morning. Attempted to do a video. I confess I was just not really all that inspired. I was fucking up, discouraged, decided to go back to sleep, coming home from work, that sort of thing. So that explains that. So and being just kind of exhausted, I just felt like resting more than anything else. So, but I'm back. So I want to discuss the politics, and I'm on various forums now. I'm on here on YouTube, obviously. Primarily, I'm on Twitch, and eventually it's going to be Rumble all the time. And you can always catch me on Twitter pretty much any time. So there's that. Right now, we're going to discuss Dave Rubin. Remember him? The guy that used to be the host of the Rubin Report on the Young Turks. Well, the Rubin Report exists, but it's no longer part of the Young Turks. And remember, there was a time that Dave Rubin was on the left. We all know the story. Yada, yada, yada. And he's like one of the biggest grifters, and he will say anything for money, in my opinion, even selling out his own community. And so anyway, I was watching Kyle Kulinski the other day, and with the conversation between Candace Owens and Dave Rubin, and I still believe that Milo beat him to the ultimate grift of grifting as a straight man, because I really do believe that had Milo Yiannopoulos, can never ever pronounce the fuck his name is, if he didn't do that grift, Dave Rubin would have done it, and I'm sure he's disappointed about that. But suffice to say, he's done the next thing to it, and that's the play the role of the self-loathing gay man before a right-wing audience trying to seek their approval. And Kyle Kulinski comment, and I got some of my own choice words toward Dave Rubin and what he's doing. So anyway, we'll get started. Hold tight. And let's see. Okay, let's get started over here, and we will get the show on the road. Take it away, Kyle.
Jump into it. So Dave Rubin has been, I guess you could say, on the warpath now for at least a year, where the main thrust of every argument he makes is like, liberals are really bad, bro. Or, sometimes leftists are really bad. I don't think he makes a distinction between liberals and leftists, but, he just makes the whole left side of the political spectrum, from center left all the way to far left, they're all terrible, bad, useless, liars, dishonest. And I always find it funny that the people who stress the most, like, let's have honest discourse with people who disagree with us, because that's the only way you see what wins in the marketplace of ideas. They talk this big game about, like, hear everybody out, bro. And then when it comes down to it, all they do is shit on the left relentlessly, endlessly, and, castigate them all as evil and with bad intentions, and they're dishonest, etc. Anyway, I digress from.
They have been doing that from day one, from the days of Rush Limbaugh, all the way up to the times of Glenn Beck and Dave Rubin and people like that, and Candace Owens are the latest reiteration of that mindset. And they're the ones who are bad actors in that regard. So yes, I agree.
From that point, so he goes to talk to the noted intellectual and philosopher and deep thinker Candace Owens, and look at what he says here, talking about his experience with conservatives, and then we'll break it down as we go.
I would say this: I like conservatives. I like hanging out with conservatives. I like debating conservatives.
Debating them? When was the last time you debated a conservative?
I never find a rude conservative. It's almost
rude conservatives. All I have ever gotten from pretty much 80 to 90% of the conservatives I've ever corresponded with in my life have been rude, have been nothing but rude. And they're the ones that bitch about civility, and they are demanding civility out of liberals and out of the actual left, but they don't practice it themselves. And what hypocrites they are. Bullshit, Dave. Bullshit.
Was impossible to find.
It's almost like you agree with them on 99% of things, so they don't feel any reason to be rude to you at all.
Not only that, when he started his Rubin report, when it exited out of the Young Turks, in the early days, I have to keep explaining this to new people in the audience. In the early days of the Rubin report, when it was no longer affiliated with the Young Turks, there was a time that it might have still been possibly on the left. Dave Rubin did seem to indicate that he was still for Bernie Sanders on his show for a while. But then there was a little bit of a progression, or a regression, shall I say. And it became not just a critique of the left and being from a good place from your heart to make a better and new, improved and better left to get to where you need to go. But it was just a dump on the left. And to have the most obnoxious right-wing people out there, like Steven Crowder, like Ben Shapiro, like Dinesh D'Souza, and agree with those motherfuckers while claiming to be liberal, and them articulating their obnoxious positions. And then, eventually he tossed away all pretense about being this classical liberal shenanigans. And now he's a Kool-Aid drinking Republican Trump supporter. The only thing that differentiates between him and the rest of them is he likes to go and suck cock. That's all the difference there is between Dave Rubin and the rest of them. Not judging him that he likes to suck cock, but his newfound friends, his newfound evangelical friends and right-wing circle that he hangs around with, either secretly hate him, most of them do, or overtly hates him and says it in a nice way to him.
Weird.
I get nothing but love from conservatives. I spoke at Liberty University, the largest evangelical conservative Christian college in America. I spoke in front of 14,000 people. You've done the exact same gig. These people know my views. They know I'm married to a man. I got a standing ovation. They couldn't have been nicer. I wandered around campus for a couple hours, people coming up to me saying all sorts of nice things. By the way, some people did come up to me and say,
okay, the reason why the people at Liberty University love you and the reason why they invited you is because it's a very unique thing that politically helps them when you have a gay guy who says, by the way, you're right about everything, including your views on gay people.
Not only that, Liberty University is a piece of shit university because they're pretending to be high-minded by having Dave Rubin there on the campus, claiming that they're for, I guess, diversity of thought. But in 2010, they banned the college Democrats from Liberty University, claiming that they don't believe in socialism, as if Democrats are socialists, and they banned the ACLU off the campus. Imagine the outcry if a liberal university, name any liberal, Harvard or Berkeley or UNC Chapel Hill, if they would have banned a Tea Party event or banned a Christian coalition or something along those lines. Imagine the outcry that would be by the right if that were to happen. But the cancel culture is okay when it comes from Liberty University. So, fuck Liberty University. They had an agenda by having Dave Rubin up there. Fuck Dave Rubin and fuck Liberty University.
That's why you're invited. It is this tokenization idea. Now, I'm not saying that casting a moral judgment on Dave here. I'm saying that as an objective fact, that if you were a gay person and you were arguing for very pro-gay positions and you were arguing for left-of-center ideas, well, then they wouldn't invite you. They invited you because of you being a token gay person who agrees all the time with conservatives. They like that. They like it when they can say, look, even this gay guy is with us. Hello, obviously we're right. Even he's with us. Let's be serious.
By the way, some people did come up to me and say, I'm praying for you. And I don't know if they meant that I'm praying for you, meaning I'm trying to pray the gay away, or I'm just praying like your continued success or whatever.
Yeah, what do you think it was, Dave? What do you think the I'm praying for you thing meant? What do you think? Out of curiosity. You're at Liberty University. What do you think? Take a shot. There is no doubt that it meant I'm praying for you because I think you're a sinner and I think homosexuality is wrong, and so I'm praying for you to see the light and get out of that. And I think that they think it's possible with Dave because he's such a staunch right-winger in every other respect.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Milo Yiannopoulos beat him to it. See, if Milo didn't do this, he would have been converted into heterosexuality. Now, Kyle is a straight man. He doesn't have a dog in this fight in that sense. I'm a straight man. I don't have a dog in this fight in this sense. But the thing is that the right, most of the right, Christian evangelical types, not all evangelicals per se, not all Christians. I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm a lukewarm Christian. I mean, but the point is, I'm pro LGBTQ, and in fact, I trust atheists and secular people a hell of a lot more than I do a lot of Christians as a general rule. But the point is that Dave Rubin he's going around shitting on the left when the liberation and the improved status for the LGBTQ currently in America, certainly in an improvement from the 1980s and the 1990s, when discussion of gay marriage was either scorned at, laughed at, or not to be taken seriously. And now it's recognized in all 50 states. And I'm glad it is recognized in all 50 states. And even more than the issue, in my opinion, even more than the issue of abortion, is wrong what the Supreme Court did with abortion and pro-choice or what have you. I mean, I can understand even from those who are pro-life, whatever their position is on abortion. I don't necessarily think all pro-lifers are out there to subjugate women or what have you. But when it comes to a court that wants to go and get rid of equal rights for LGBTQ, including marital status and civil rights and civil liberties and protection from job discriminations and all of this, no. That is unreasonable beyond measure, and for Dave Rubin to make excuses for people that will take away his rights, no matter how nice some of them are to his face. Because there are two kinds of homophobes. There's the kind that will go and preach from a fire and brimstone pulpit that the gay people ought to be executed. People like the Westboro Baptist Church will preach this garbage, or Steve Anderson over there in whatever it's called, some independent Baptist church down in Arizona. He preaches this sort of thing. The preacher that prayed for Barack Obama he prayed for the death of Barack Obama in 2009. The preacher that was glad that the radical Muslim individual went to the Pulse nightclub and killed 49 gay people in Orlando in 2016. There's that type, and then there's some who are maybe just a little bit uncomfortable. But they'll probably be, civil toward individual gays, maybe individually speaking or whatever. And whatever, people are entitled to their views or what have you. They should never be entitled to take away people's rights. And Dave Rubin is basically being a useful idiot for people who will end up taking away his community's rights. It doesn't matter to Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin is wealthy. He made money. He made millions, fucking over the left, telling the right how evil the left is, lying. Some of it's true about cancel culture or whatever. And actually, in some areas of cancel culture, Dave Rubin is actually not wrong. But he was wrong on how he went about it, and he was wrong to go to the other side, and especially to do it for money. And he is absolutely just wretched. I mean, to the point where he had Ben Shapiro basically insulting him in his face. Even Ben Shapiro did it in a very nice way, granted. But Ben Shapiro basically said that Dave Rubin, he thought that Dave Rubin was a disgusting individual because he was a homosexual. Now, I mean, as far as Dave Rubin, the individual, I mean, if I had a son and who was gay and he brought Dave Rubin home, I mean, the only thing I will hold against Dave Rubin is his damn politics. Otherwise, he is, I guess, a wholesome kind of person that, if you were to have a son-in-law to be gay, a gay son-in-law, I mean, Dave Rubin, as far as you take the politics out of it, I guess he's okay otherwise. But otherwise, he is a useful idiot, and that's why I say he can fuck off. I'm sorry, I'm ranting on and on and on. This is more about Kyle's take.
So they think, maybe he will have an enlightenment moment and get out of this sinful lifestyle. That's definitely what it is. So it's condescending. It's pedantic. It's, look, we know the truth. We see the light. We know the way. You don't. I'm going to try to get you to where I'm at. Jesus, he's so sad.
But it would almost be irrelevant to me. Even if someone...
Yeah, instead of praying the gay away, look, that's not offensive. If they're not saying...
That's not offensive. Okay, put aside the word offensive.
Actually, this bitch is worse, Candace Owens, because she makes little speeches makes little anti-trans remarks a whole lot, making little jokes and everything. Again, she's also entitled to her ass backwards views, but she does it as if she does it with authority, like she's right about this sort of thing. And no, she's fucking wrong. And she's also another useful idiot for the right, because honestly, majority of the right are either overtly racist as hell or passively racist. And some people on the right, some conservatives are not racist at all. Some conservatives are probably some conservatives are as anti-racist or pro racial equality as the left. So I'm being honest about that too. So there's no one size fit all on the race question when it comes to the conservatives. There are some conservatives who are racially tolerant and racially pro civil rights and everything. So I'm not sitting there trying to be like, well, they're all, blanket indictment the way that the right would do it against the left. but she is a useful idiot for much of the right that really dislike black people. I'm sorry, I'm going to put it that way. And they use her, just as they use Thomas Sowell or some other individual who comes up with the same share horrific views on policies to validate themselves. So no, she's even worse than Dave Rubin as far as I'm concerned.
What is the argument that they're making? What are they really saying to you? They're saying if you're gay, you are less than. You are not equal to. This is not okay. This is not just. This is not moral. This is not ethical. You are inferior in a sense. And so I'm trying to get you to become normal or become superior to all these people who are sinful and who are going to hell. To say that that's not offensive, to say that that's not condescending, it's astonishing. It's the height of arrogance for them to say something like that. And it is, look, it's deeply homophobic for them to say something like that. But he doesn't care. He doesn't see it that way. Oh, it's just so nice that they said, I'm praying for you. That's so much nicer than a left-winger who says, Dave, you're factually wrong about this policy and that policy and that policy. Yeah, because the left-winger is actually standing up for values and principles and beliefs. And the right-winger is condescending and arrogantly looking down on you and trying to change the essence of who you are, which, by the way, isn't even fucking possible.
I'm gonna, club you over the head. Yeah. I'm gonna put you somewhere you shouldn't be. I'm praying for you. And
bro, they're not killing me. They're not even stoning me to death, bro. What's the problem here? They're being so nice about it.
They're being nice about it because society decided that people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, and while transgender people are looked upon negatively still in a lot of areas in society, there's going to be a time where they're going to be looked upon in a tolerant way that the people look down with such in a negative way, the bigotry, the way that racism or anti-Semitism is looked down and frowned upon. And it should be frowned upon. It should be frowned upon. It should be looked down upon and should be considered in polite society. It should be considered a shitty position for people to hate somebody because who they love. You got a right. If you want to hate somebody, I'm not for policing your thoughts, but I don't have a problem with shaming the hell out of people about it. But at the same time, no, you shouldn't be fired for your job because you don't believe in gay marriage. I mean, I don't think that human resource should go and make you take sensitive training courses or things like that. I'm again, as a leftist, I'm one of those leftists that wants to tell leftists give up on the cancel culture because that's actually going to make the bigots more bigoted. And it's going to go and turn back against us, and the left are going to end up getting more cancel culture than anything else. And for some reason, there's a lot of folks on the left. I'm talking about leftists who are a lot of the leftists who are actually closer to the mainstream right, like the center or even further to the right, that seems to not get that. But anyway, they're entitled to their views. But you know what? People who are LGBTQ are entitled to their equality too, at the end of the day.
Being so nice about how I'm inferior. Thanks, Dave.
Okay, I can deal with that.
Someone that comes up to you with a smile on their face and says a bunch of nice things and then says, I'm praying for you.
Right.
That's actually a lot nicer than a progressive who will scream all day how much they love gay people and then will unleash endless hate on me because
it's not hate. It's telling you you're wrong about stuff. It is an argument. It is a disagreement. It is a debate. Now, what happened to, bro, I'm all about ideas. I'm all about debating in the marketplace of ideas. No, Dave, you like to sit around with a whole bunch of other conservatives and everybody jerks each other off about how right they are about everything. That's what you like to do. So you like the silo. That's what you like.
I don't bow to them. So, this is where...
It's not about bowing. It's about you being wrong about shit. That's what it's about. It's about the debate. It's about the disagreement. It's about the policy issues.
This idea of tolerance and all of these things, I think broadly...
He's going to talk about tolerance when he's bringing up the issue of a Liberty University student who's super religious saying, I'm praying for you and looking down on you. That is not tolerant. That is not tolerant. That's saying you're less than and I hope you get out of this thing you do, which is inferior, which is bad, which is immoral, and which is unethical. Dave.
Well, actually, it might be better than somebody who would sit there and beat the hell out of somebody like it used to be. It used to be the individuals who were LGBTQ in the 1980s, 1990s, and prior to the 1980s, 1990s, it was literally unsafe in a unless you were in the urban areas of the United States. It was largely unsafe in most places to be an out of the closet gay person. It really could have meant your life in some cases, and people will be jumped at, beaten the hell out of, and then when it goes to the courts, a lot of judges will let a homophobe off with a light sentence or let them go completely because the judge would be homophobic themselves. And if there was probably one if there was probably one group that was totally unsafe, absolutely unsafe in society for many, many years, probably more unsafe than being African American or being Jewish or being whatever, or Muslim or whatever today, were for many years individuals in the LGBTQ community. Look what happened to Matthew Shepard in 1997, 1998. I think it was in Wyoming. He was murdered. Was it in Colorado? I remember. Anyway, he was murdered, brutally murdered. And to this day, there are right wingers who are basically equivalent to Holocaust denial, saying that this guy was not murdered because he was gay, and trying to just write it off or what have you. And that's how it is. And even that dumbass Wild Bill for America, when the 49 LGBTQ people were murdered down in Orlando, he denounced it, but he denounced it by not mentioning the fact that the 49 people were LGBTQ because he hates the LGBTQ. But it was his chance to bash on the Muslims because the guy that did it was a Muslim, the man that went and shot the 49 people. And he hates the Muslims as bad as he hates the LGBTQ. So it was like, which group does he hate more in that particular moment? So the narrative was to go and Muslim bash, which was slightly more politically trendy in 2016. So, but don't get it twisted. I bet you he wished that those 49 people were Christian instead of gay, so he could really, really, really do the victim status game. I'm pretty sure Wild Bill for America didn't have a problem with the 49 people being gay. If you don't know who Wild Bill for America is, maybe you should be glad. He's obnoxious.
Dave, being gay is not bad, inferior, immoral, unethical. They think it is. I do not. Generally speaking, the left does not. The left is correct. The left is correct.
The left is the reason why the LGBTQ have equality, just like like African Americans had equality through the civil rights movement, like women's liberation, all the liberation movements, and not that the disenfranchised are living in absolute equality today. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, but a lot of the progress that has been made for many years, it's been because of the left. I am a leftist because I want to be part of a movement that has advanced a lot of what's good for society. Not that I'm saying I'm a good person, but I want to be on the side of good. And to be on the side of good is to be on the side of the left. And supporting LGBTQ rights and equality is being on the side of good. It's part of being a decent person.
Jesus Christ, Dave.
Speaking, conservatives have done a really nice job in the last couple of years of cleaning up whatever those bad parts are.
This is bullshit, and he knows it's bullshit.
Actually, one of the few times I'm going to slightly disagree with Kyle, and maybe mildly, ever so mildly, agree with Dave Rubin. The cleaning up. Some conservatives have actually improved on that question. Some of them in the last decade. There are some conservatives that have taken a more libertarian approach, and some of them have evolved through personal situation. They had a son or a daughter or a co-worker or what have you that they've been personally affected by. I despise Dick Cheney like there's no tomorrow. I just think he's the most awful person because he's a war criminal. But on the issue of LGBTQ, Dick Cheney in the year 2022 is fucking base as hell and positive. Why do I say that? His daughter, Mary Cheney, Liz Cheney's younger sister, is a lesbian. And while I do not think that Dick Cheney was the most nasty and vile of homophobes, he was typical of many conservatives on the issue, grumpy and dismissive and just kind of old-fashioned on the issue. And when he got affected by the fact that his daughter that he loved, and he loved his daughter also just enough, loved his daughter enough on a human level that he realized, well, I love my daughter and she's a good person and she happens to love women in a romantic way. I would be a horrible person. Well, he is a horrible person on foreign policy, but I would be a horrible person on a personal level if I was to disown my daughter because of this. Not only did he accept his daughter, he accepts his daughter for who she was or for who she is, and he's now on record of supporting full LGBTQ rights. And on that particular little issue, as much as I hate Dick Cheney, on that little issue, he's done well, and better than his other daughter, Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney doesn't fully accept her sister's situation being a lesbian. So, fuck Liz Cheney for her primitive attitudes toward LGBTQ and for 5 seconds, thumbs up and approval for Dick Cheney in regard to his positive attitude toward LGBTQ rights. And here's the thing, getting to the question of Donald Trump and Liz Cheney and Marjorie Taylor Greene and all these shit libs that want to sit there and want to decide that that Liz Cheney is now the hero of the shit libs because she's against Donald Trump and against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, I'm with the shit libs when it comes to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and even with Liz Cheney, I'm with the shit with her and the shit libs. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is an awful human being. She's the worst of the worst. But here's the thing. Liz Cheney's position on LGBTQ rights is more similar to Marjorie Taylor Greene's position than it is Donald Trump's position. Donald Trump's position on LGBTQ, at least on a personal level, is closer to a typical shit-lib position or even a progressive position than it is typical MAGA out there. Strangely enough, there's a lot of reasons to despise Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not reactionary or hate monger on the LGBTQ question. He might be racist. He might be that. He might be anti-Muslim. He might be anti-black. And those things fuck Donald Trump on. Fuck him the hell on those things. But he doesn't appear to be anti-LGBTQ. But then on the flip side, do fuck Donald Trump because Donald Trump had Mike Pence as his vice president, who was overseeing a lot of, in his administration, and a lot of the anti-LGBTQ policies from the Trump administration did have Mike Pence's fingerprints on it. So there is that. But my point is that some conservatives have actually improved on that question. So there are some libertarian-leaning conservatives who doesn't bash the gays anymore, and some of them who were prone or predisposed to libertarian ideas, they decided that that's not an issue, and they have their small government reasons for being tolerant on the issue. I don't care what their rationale is. All I care about is the correct policy position of let them have their rights. Let them have their rights. That is the correct position to have. And anything less from the conservatives, which means restriction of rights for individuals who are in the LGBTQ community, is unacceptable.
When Dave announced I'm having kids with my husband, there was a tsunami of right-wing hate and right-wing disagreement with him, where you had prominent conservatives, people like Mark Dice saying this is sinful and this is wrong, and Mark Dice was going after Dave, and even other conservatives who were mildly okay with what Dave was doing, and I mean mildly. People like Glenn Beck who were like, yeah, what you're doing is wrong, but I'll allow you to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Glenn Beck used to be a horrible, horrible homophobe. Then he grifted briefly in 2015, 2016, 2017 into being quasi pro-LGBTQ. He claimed, and he evolved for 5 seconds claiming he supports civil unions. And now he's almost, he seems to be almost flirting with moderate QAnon style conspiracy theories and all of that. I mean, and he's like he's almost sounding like John Hagee, but he's trying to still sound libertarian, but he's almost trying to sound like a John Hagee fanatic too. So, fuck Glenn Beck.
The point is that conservatives still often, I think, should take a libertarian approach on it, be okay with a state-by-state situation, but there's still...
So in other words...
unacceptable when it comes to human rights. Unacceptable. Fuck states' rights when it comes to human rights. Human rights before states' rights. And this, you can't, it's unconstitutional to sit there and to fuck over human rights. That is in itself unconstitutional. And no, you can't, but they try to twist it around, making it like, well, human rights can only be a statewide issue. No, it can't be.
Words, Dave Rubin is not for the right to gay marry being viewed as a constitutional right under equal protection under the law. So he's not for gay marriage being allowed in all the states. He's for it being allowed in only the states that want to allow it, which means about half the states would not allow it, which means gay couples who live in Mississippi, well, fuck off, that's your own problem. So Dave Rubin is against a right to gay marriage. Now, after, if he were to see this segment, he would disagree with my assertion there and say, no, I'm for gay marriage, but you just said you wanted the states to decide. If you want the states to decide, it 100% logically follows that not every state is going to have it. It's the exact same thing with the right to choose. If you say, hey, let the states decide, well, what happened? Like 25 states were like, we're not going to allow it at all. So you're okay with it not being allowed in like half the country, which affects millions of people in the same way this gay marriage proposal would affect millions of people. So Dave Rubin is not for the right to gay marry, and he's gay married. And you wonder why. Why did Liberty University invite you to talk? Gee, I wonder why. Could it be because you want to take away the right to gay marry from like half the fucking country? Could that be it?
A certain layer of conservatives that take a sort of more moral position
and
that it's going to infect society. And by the way, I'm not trying to change those people's opinions. That's the part that I really want.
Okay, I can agree with not trying to change people's opinions. Let them come to their own conclusions. But at the same time, Dave, you need to stand up for yourself. Don't cuck before the right. I understand the libertarian approach of people's consciousness. People got a right to be a jerk. I understand that. I get that. But people do not have a right to infringe on other people's rights. And you're just sitting there being a useful idiot for them. That's Kyle's point. That's my point. Except Kyle articulates it better than I can. But anyway.
Another reason why they invited you, because you're not trying to change their opinions. You're trying to tell them they're right about everything. What a surprise.
I tell you, I'm not here to do
change that. Yeah, it's funny.
I just want to carve out room on the same side.
It's so sad, man. And he's even now at the point where when he was talking to Jordan Peterson, he was saying, look, the ideal is heterosexual marriage. That's the ideal, and that's what we're aspiring to. And us gay couples will never get there, but that's the guiding star. This is an argument he made. So Dave talked to somebody else who brought that same point up to him and said, right, so you admit if you have kids, you want them to be, married in straight relationships. And Dave was like, I didn't say that. And he's like, no, you said if it's the ideal, that means it's better than. If it's better than, that means the other thing is inferior. It's not as good. So you're in favor of them being straight, right? And he twisted himself into an intellectual pretzel and said, no, that's not exactly what I said. It depends on what the definition of the word ideal really means. Sad, Dave, sad. And I honestly, I don't know if he's smart enough to understand what he's doing, even though it's super obvious to 90% of people watching his little tap dance. And that is astonishing. So, Dave, be proud of yourself, man. I hope the money's worth it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor.
Oh, he's made plenty of money. I can guarantee you, he's made plenty of money selling his soul out to people like what's his name? What's the name of that guy that he sold himself over to? Oh yeah, Dennis Prager. And I got some choice words for that motherfucker. in a future video. He pissed me off so bad it's going to force me to defend Sam Cedar, who I'm not a big fan of. But anyway, there's Dave Rubin for you in a nutshell. I mean, you can write him off as self-loading or just a grifter. But I despise Dave Rubin because Dave Rubin basically just decided to sell his community out for a few bucks. Him and Ariel Scarcella's another one I can't stand. She's a fucking turf, that wants to sit there and focus on being anti-trans and everything, and and people like J.K. Rowling, where her obsession also with anti-trans, and I'm not a big Vosh fan. I got some criticism of Vosh, but him basically humiliating her in a tweet, it was not one of them. That was actually pretty base of Vosh. That's one of the areas where he was actually serving a useful purpose, and I don't compliment Vosh that often. So there you go. We have a chat line here. Taylor Coles, how are you doing, Taylor? You mean when he started taking Dennis Prager money? That's when I think it kind of started. I noticed that I actually saw Dennis Prager on the Rubin Report, and I noticed that they were kind of talking in ways where he was kind of, something fishy in that interview I saw years ago. I almost forgot about it until you brought that point up. So let's see. King Country News says, true. How are you doing? Let's see. Are you live? Yes, I am live. I sure am. Let's see. Artie Reservoir, my man. Hey, how are you? So anyway, this is what I have to say right there. And to sum everything up, when it comes to Dave Rubin, as I said, he's a grifter. He's fake. And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. He's a fake individual. Oh, we got more. I'm sorry. I didn't scroll down enough. I wouldn't give all the left all the credit. A lot of it because of direct action and praxis, not politics. Let's see here. They evolve because they have been close to the LGBTQ, but they will never be as close to poor people in the same way. You're talking about the left, trying to think. Okay. Let's see. Can you read the chat? Yes, I can. I can. So, I think that's all the chats we got there. Yeah. So, as I said, Dave Rubin just, pretty much gets on my nerves these days. And, he's a charlatan. And I mean, one day, I guess maybe even the conservative folks who likes him will realize he's a grifter too. So who knows? If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree with what I have to say, comment anyway. We will have a conversation. Share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it is my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we're all the muckrakers of our time. Follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Follow me also on let's see, Rumble. Even though I'm not using it that much yet, I will eventually. And until next time, just reject all corporate media. The major networks, reject them, reject the 3 major news network, reject CNN, reject MSNBC, reject Fox, reject One American News Network, reject them all because Newsmax, all of them motherfuckers, because they all have a corporatist message and they have nothing at all to offer to any of us. So until next time, I will conclude by saying to y'all one more thing. On September 12th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be interviewing Santa Claus, the mayor pro tem of North Pole, Alaska. Yes, there's a North Pole, Alaska, and the mayor pro tem is named Santa Claus. and he ran for Congress in the Alaska Congressional at-large district recently. Now that they have ranked choice voting, but in the first round of the election, he was not one of the final 3 candidates of the election that took place, but he came in 5th place in that election. He's an independent socialist in the tradition of Bernie Sanders, and I will be interviewing him on September 12th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope y'all will be here for that. And until next time, I am Willie Bragg of the Willie Bragg Show. I will conclude by saying to you all, music.